Hey there, I'm Marty Boardman with Fix and Flip Hub, and my business partner, Manny Romero, and I, we fix and flip houses in Phoenix, Arizona, and Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And in this video today, I want to explain to you how to buy a bank-owned foreclosure, or what we call an REO, which stands for real estate owned. That's a house that was foreclosed on and ended up in the hands of the bank. So to explain that a little more clearly, for you to understand it, there's really 3 steps to the foreclosure process. It's best to think of it this way, okay? You can see here on this slide, in step 1 of the foreclosure process is what we call the pre-foreclosure phase. That's that period of time that the homeowner is in default, where they can either bring their loan current or pay their mortgage off to stop the foreclosure. That's the pre-foreclosure phase. Of course, if they don't take care of that in the allotted period of time they're given by the trustee or the court, their house goes to auction, to a foreclosure auction. Now, at the auction, third-party investors or third-party bidders will bid on that property. Now, a lot of times nobody will bid on the house, and it ends up in the hands of the bank. It becomes a bank-owned foreclosure or an REO. Now, why wouldn't a third-party investor bid on a property at a foreclosure auction? There's really 2 reasons. Number 1, the home could be in just terrible condition. There could be really no price, even a $0 opening bid that would entice a third-party bidder to bid on the property because the rehab costs are so expensive, right? The second reason is because the bank who sets the opening bid sets an opening bid that's far too high a price for a third-party investor to pay. Say, for example, the opening bid on a house is $100,000, right? And the house is only worth $130,000. And the reason the opening bid is set at $100,000 is because that's what the homeowner owes on their mortgage. So that's the opening bid that is set by the lender. Well, if the house is only worth $130,000, that's not enough margin for a third-party investor to make any money. So nobody bids on it, and it ends up in the hands of a bank. It becomes a bank-owned foreclosure, or what we call an REO. And again, in this video, what I'm going to explain to you is how to buy one of these properties. It's actually very simple. It's the very easiest and probably the safest way to buy a foreclosure is buying a bank-owned foreclosure. All right, so these properties are typically listed on your local multiple listing service, or what we call the MLS, right? And they're usually listed by realtors who specialize in listing bank-owned properties. Now, they also are sold at public auctions. Big banks like Chase Bank and Wells Fargo and Bank of America, a lot of times they'll have these big public auctions at hotel convention centers in your city. And a lot of them now have gone to these online auctions. This property you see in this photograph, it's a property that we bought in Milwaukee last year, and it was sold on auction.com. That's how we bought it. So we went online. We were the highest bidder on this public auction on auction.com, and we won the bid. Now let me let you in a little secret here with these public online auctions, like auction.com. You can see their little sign in the window, or other websites like hubzu.com. All right, these are auctions in the sense that they're sold to a highest bidder, but what they don't tell you a lot of the times is that there is a reserve bid. So this particular house here, it had gone to auction 5 different times before we finally won the bid. They tried to sell it in 4 other auctions online, but they never met their reserve bid, so they just canceled the auction, didn't sell it to the highest bidder, and just started a whole new auction all over again a week or 2 later. So finally, on the 5th try, we bid high enough to get this property at this public auction. But we've also bought houses at these public convention center type auctions. We bought a house once. We won the bid. We did meet the reserve, and we won the bid, and it took us 3 months to close. So they're unlike foreclosure auctions, these public auctions, because it's not like an instantaneous sale. If you win a bid at a foreclosure auction, typically within a day or 2, you're the owner of the property as soon as that deed, that trustee's deed or that foreclosure deed is recorded. So just something to keep in mind if you're going to be buying bank-owned houses at these public auctions or online. Now, we also hear this a lot from students in our coaching program and from our contractors. I hear it from neighbors. Hey, the house over down the street from us or in the next block over, it got foreclosed on, and I want to buy it from the bank. How do I do that? And I always have to tell them, hey, listen, you can't buy a house from somebody that hasn't put it up for sale yet. These banks can take up to 2 to 3 months after the foreclosure auction is finished before they put it on the multiple listing service or sell it at a public auction. So you can't buy a house that isn't for sale. Now, of course, you could look up the tax records to figure out the name of the bank or the entity that foreclosed on the property, and then try to play detective and figure out who that decision maker is at that bank to see if they will sell you the house directly. But it's highly unlikely that that's going to happen, because they would rather list it on the MLS or go to a public auction, because they could likely sell it for more money than they would make selling it to you. Trust me, we've tried this. It doesn't usually work. But the cool part is about buying a bank-owned foreclosure is you can usually finance the purchase of the property, right? So you can get a traditional loan or a hard money loan. Time usually isn't too much of a factor here. Banks aren't in a huge rush to sell these properties, and a lot of times, even if you want to sell them or buy them quickly and close quickly, they can't, because they're so large and there's so many different people that have to be involved in the decision to sell it to you. So they can be financed. And the other nice thing is you can typically get a home inspection done when you're buying a bank-owned foreclosure. Now, typically banks will sell their properties as is, and they'll make you sign these long 8 or 9 page long addendums that basically absolve them of any liability or disclosure laws when you go to buy the property. And they're certainly not going to repair anything that's broken in the house, but you can get a home inspection. So if something does turn up in the house that makes you nervous or uncomfortable, that you don't like, you can back out of the deal. So that's certainly a positive to buying a bank-owned foreclosure. So that's all I've got for this training video today. I can tell you, if you want to learn how to fix and flip houses without using any of your own cash or credit, we do have a special web class we're doing right now. So click on the link in the description of this video to check that out. And thanks for watching this video. I'm Marty Boardman with Fix and Flip Hub. Thanks for watching.